June 22nd, 2024. What happened? It starts raining. This town has no idea.
Yeah, woken up around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. There was sirens going off. We have to leave quickly because the house was starting to flood. I had to act brave, but I was scared. All had our phones in a Ziploc bag.
It's dark.
Water all around us, pieces of wood. There was a whole porch in front of where I had just passed.
Washed away.
The water was getting up to our chest. We had to hold on to a stop sign so it didn't drag us down with it. We could hear people screaming and we didn't know what to think.
And the reality sets in, like our house
is gone. Our business is gone.
My guest today is Angel Gasca. He's an 18-year-old, just graduated from Rock Valley High School and is now headed off to college. Well, Angel, I'm so excited to talk to you because I don't get to talk to a lot of 18-year-olds who just graduated high school, who are from a small town, but I think a lot of people will be interested to hear your perspective on what it was like growing up here in Rock Valley, Iowa. But first, you're not from Rock Valley, right?
No.
Where were you born?
I was born in California, Riverside, California, close to Los Angeles. I believe it's around like an hour and a half drive there.
And so your mom is from California.
Yeah, she is from California.
And your dad too, but he immigrated to the States, right?
From Mexico. Yep.
Yeah, so you guys
I believe he was my age as well when he immigrated this way.
Yep. You 17, 18 years old, right?
17, 18 years old.
So they were living in California.
Yes.
They're married. They're going to have a family.
Yep.
And had you and your brother, right?
Yep, exactly.
So then how did you end up here?
So basically, I think my parents first came because we had aunt over here.
Yeah.
And my parents wanted to come visit and they decided that they wanted to have our baptism here. So we decided on doing that first. And we came for vacation, but at first we kind of thought it was kind of a weird spot just because it was a small town. There wasn't anything around here. The closest thing that there was to having good food was 45 minutes away from here, which is Sioux Falls. And we didn't think we could adapt to that, obviously, because over there in California, oh, I'm hungry. Let's go around the block. Let's get some canes quick. It's just there. But that's not the case here. But we also enjoyed a little bit how friendly the people were around here. And for some reason, we started enjoying the peace that there wasn't people on the roads. And when you did go out, everybody waved to you and they were kind to you, even if they didn't know who you were.
Yeah, there's that peace here in small town Iowa. The thing is, you were young when you guys decided to move, so I'm sure it's been a story that's been passed down to you and told to you. Your mom had talked to me about what she had thought about the decision, and it was, they had never been here. They had a family relative, and they wanted to get you baptized here. And so brought you here to get baptized and looked around and thought, well, why don't we live here?
Yeah.
And then it was months later you decided to move, which is crazy.
It is pretty crazy. I just remember they always told us that if we didn't come here, we'd either stay over there, but we'd have to move to a different place just because the area around where we lived wasn't also the greatest as it was here. Yeah.
And I know maybe the number one reason for the choice to move to Rock Valley were the schools, right?
Yeah, the schools.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what was your experience like? You went K through 12 here, right?
Exactly.
So what was it like? How many kids in your class?
I think I don't remember how much we started off with, but I know most of all the kids I saw in kindergarten are the ones who I graduated now, in which we were a class of 65 people. I think the max that people moved, 5 people max moved out since kindergarten. And I just remember everybody being kind.
Right. Yeah. Well, you go through K through 12, and that's such a small town school experience where it's like, hey, I know everybody knows me. Yeah. What did you think of that?
Well, it's kind of weird because I only realized at the endings of high school, like the last months of it, I'm like, wow, I really went 12 years of seeing these guys every single day, and now we're all just going to take our own path. Seems kind of weird to me because, we're a small class. We bonded together a lot. We hung out with each other a lot because, we're the only people we had.
Yeah. Well, you get to try a lot of things.
Exactly.
When you're in a smaller school, too.
A lot of biking around cross town, a lot of using a moped. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So your parents, and this is sort of your job. You have a job, too.
Yeah, I do have a job.
Where do you work?
I work at my parents' grocery store. Yep.
What's it called?
Angel Gasca.
Yeah. What do you do there?
So basically, since I'm the son I basically do everything. So everybody, the workers have their own thing that they get to work to, but my job is everything. I get there in the morning, boom, okay, I'm in the butcher area. Then I'm helping clients, and then I'm stocking up. Oh, but then we need to clean the bathroom, so I'm also cleaning the bathroom. So I'm a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I try to be the best that I can as well.
What's your favorite job at the store?
Favorite job would honestly be the online stuff. Like when I get to create, like maybe even like the easy things, like changing like the time we close on Google and stuff like that, or like figuring out like what prints are gonna go on the shirts and stuff. Figuring out how we're gonna have everybody clock into work, what app best works for us, and kind of tracking like what's the best thing we can do so we don't get charged as much fees from the apps that we use. Inventory on the iPad and the computer and stuff. Pretty much all the online stuff.
I mean, you're really a big picture thinker then. I mean, that's kind of, and that probably explains sort of your favorite subjects in school, right? Which were
my favorite things in school. Well, I like computers class. I liked art, but basically, I don't know. I just always enjoying doing those type of stuff just because it seems easier to me.
Yeah. I was thinking you were going to say business. You're
business,
right? I mean, that's
business, running all the little things that no one thinks about. That's basically it, because no one really thinks about all the times or how they're going to clock in, they just do it, and I'm the one behind it, so which makes it pretty amazing.
So Abarrotes Gasca.
Yep.
Right here in Rock Valley.
Yep.
It's not that old a store. I mean, you started it just, 3 years ago?
Yep, exactly. We were closed for like about 3 months for the flood.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask about that. We will get to that because what a monumental year you've been through, your senior year that you had to deal with that. But I want to kind of circle back on your high school experience because you're just finishing up.
Yep.
So I know you were a wrestler.
Yep, I was a wrestler.
Did you do any other activities or sports?
I played football my freshman year, but during a wrestling camp here in Iowa called Wartburg, I broke my elbow. So I broke my elbow there during a wrestling tournament that we were having. I believe it was my third match of the day. And when I broke my elbow, it was because I dislocated my shoulder first and then landed weirdly. So from there, I quit football because the next year you kind of have to stay on top of the playbook and all that, and I couldn't really handle all that because I couldn't do much. And I was kind of in a down spot just because wrestling was my thing and competing, and not being able to really took a toll on me.
Yeah. But you wrestled all through high school? Yeah,
wrestled all through high school.
What were your weights?
So my freshman year, I was a 120 pounder. I was pretty light. Then I was a 126 pounder. And then I really got big, I guess you can say. I went to 138 my junior year. Yeah. And then I got a little too big my senior year. So I made the cut from 144 to 38. Yeah. So I was basically a little guy the whole time, but.
So I'm a basketball player, and like we didn't really think about diet or what was your diet like and training regimen? What did you have to do?
So basically, once season comes in, you kind of there's a thing called the body comp where you have to make this certain weight, and then once you weigh in, it's a special scale that kind of like tells you how much body fat you have, all that fancy stuff, and how much weight you can actually lose. So it calculates how much weight you lose a week. So basically, let's say if it says I have to make 140.
What's your body fat percentage?
Oh, it's low. It's like 5%. Yeah, it's low. The highest I've been is like 6%.
The highest is 6%.
So
you don't have much to lose then.
No, I don't have much to lose. That's why we kind of cheat the system a little bit by like cutting a little bit of weight before the body comp, just so you can kind of lie on it. And it just tells you you're legally allowed to lose 2 pounds every week, because some of us go crazy and we go like 5 pounds in a week. And then if you do that, right, which you basically can, right, but they don't allow you to wrestle because they said we're only giving you 2 pounds, which is the healthy way of doing it.
Okay, what is your diet? So when I was in, I don't want to make this sound like I'm that old, but like I did grow up in the 1900s, like that's where I grew up, graduated in 2000, but we didn't really think about nutrition.
No,
I would play basketball for 4 hours. I would go lift weights, and then I'd go and power up with like a Mountain Dew.
Yeah, that's what
Skittles.
I was gonna say. Yeah, because I see you guys. We're getting done with practice, and they're about to have a basketball game, and they're selling cookies at concession stands, and they're grabbing a cookie. I'm like, wouldn't that be nice, right? Because we get done with practice, and it's like you're still calculating what you're gonna eat and like what you can eat, because tomorrow you have a tournament. And since we have tournaments every Saturday, so you basically get up like at 5:30 and the bus always leaves at like around 6. So you don't have time to like cut weight before you get to the tournament. So you're always the day before you're having to really see what you're going to be at.
Well, I just wonder if you guys, your generation eats healthier than we did. Like we didn't pay any attention to it. We didn't know any better. There wasn't any science to it.
I don't know about that, because I know there's some people who don't know how to cut weight. Me, just because I've grown up and my parents haven't been too unhealthy, it wasn't such a struggle for me. Like I didn't grow up with like having pop in the house or none of those stuff. Yeah. So it's not like, oh, I'm struggling that I really want to have a Dr. Pepper, but I can't. Yeah. But yeah.
What about proteins? Did you pack in the proteins?
Basically, after a tournament, some Mexican food is pretty like, you can have some protein. Like my mom makes some fajitas at home, which steak is pretty good for you. Chicken's good for you. So with the bell peppers and onions in there.
Yeah. So that's good, healthy stuff.
Yeah, you could say, you just no tortillas, nor chips.
Yeah. But now you're going off to college.
Yep.
You're going to wrestle at college?
Yes, I will.
Where are you going, Northwestern?
I will be wrestling at Northwestern in Orange City.
Okay. Yep. Orange City, Iowa.
Orange City, Iowa.
Right. Yep. So what is that, an hour, 45 minutes?
From here, it's 40 minutes away, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. What went into your decision to go there?
I didn't accomplish all the goals I wanted to throughout my high school career. And I always felt like I thought I would, just because of the work ethic I had. And I know I'm not done with what I want to be done with. And I know I can succeed maybe in the next level, and that's my goal, to keep pushing. And I love the sport of wrestling, even if sometimes it didn't seem like it went my way, like breaking my elbow or like my rib and like all the setbacks I had. The love for the sport I've always had.
Yeah. So you're going to continue your athletic career, but I assume you also chose it because of the education.
The education, too. Of course, yes. Student athletes. So
yeah,
be a student there.
What are you going to pursue?
Business. So business administration is the career I want to pursue.
Do you have a thought on what you want to do with it?
No, not really. Not 100%. So I was thinking maybe after I could probably help out my parents, but first obviously earn the spot in helping them out for a couple of years, and then trying to dig myself in a little bit more, helping out my dad, or maybe starting something new myself. I'm still not 100%.
Do you, because everyone's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. Some people, they like to have their whole life planned out.
Yep.
When I was 8, I told my parents that I'm going to be a TV news anchor in Minneapolis. Yep. And then I just had that one goal, and I did everything I could to achieve that one goal. Now, there's positives and negatives to that. Everyone is usually like, oh, wow, that's crazy. And then you went and did it. But also, too, I would say, like, I didn't always fully enjoy it. It was very difficult, and I didn't always fully enjoy the journey, because I was solely focused on that one thing that sometimes I missed the present. Exactly. So I guess, like, a part of that is it's okay not to know. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's okay to just be like, hey, I'm going to enjoy each day. I'm going to learn. I'm going to grow. I'm going to get better and see where the Lord takes me.
It kind of frustrates me myself, because I'm kind of that way, where I know what my goal is, right? And when I don't meet that little step, it's kind of like, oh, because you have it all planned out. So that's kind of a bad thing that I learned, that planning every single step out isn't also good, because it's like, once that first thing doesn't go well, then it's like all the rest is like all jumbled up. So you're kind of like, oh, what am I going to do now? But
I asked, there was somebody who I really admired. He was and still do, but he was a top-notch CEO in Minneapolis, and somebody that I admired and looked up to, and just reached out to him to ask for his advice, because I was kind of at the spot, I would say about 7, 8, 9 years ago on, okay, I've now accomplished this dream that I had set out, and I was doing the thing that I had always wanted to do, but I felt like the Lord wasn't done with me yet, but I didn't really know what that was, right? It was pretty kind of scary. And so I asked him, I'm like, well, did you always set out for just that one specific goal of being a CEO? And this is what he told me, and I don't know if it'll be helpful for you or not. I hope it will. But he told me to really stop trying to plan my life. It's not that goals are bad. Of course, set goals. But like trying to be so specific, because perhaps you might get pulled in a different direction, and you want to continue to prepare. And so his advice to me was, just stay curious.
Yeah.
Just always continue to learn and grow. And then all of a sudden you'll find yourself being prepared for that next step.
Yeah, that was my problem. I was literally having this problem like a week ago because I graduated from high school and I had more time to go into the store. So I was there. And I'd just keep making little mistakes that bothered me. And my mom's like, you're only a week in working full time with us here. Like, you'll be fine, right? Yeah. But it bothered me inside because I'm supposed to be there already 100%. But I had to understand that I'm also learning too. And I guess it doesn't look like it for me, but they're also learning with me. So it's like, just because I don't know everything doesn't mean it's not going to be okay.
So that's awesome, because I think that is that's a trait that's going to lead to your success. Is that, hey, I'm motivated, I want to get better, I have a positive attitude, but also understanding that none of us have it all figured out. Like, none of us are a finished product. It's not like any of us, at least we shouldn't, get to a spot where we go, all right, well, I'm good now. I'm really good at my job.
I was really scared of that at a young age, because I always heard older people say, do you even know what you're going to do when you're older? Like, you still don't have your things figured out? And then I realized I don't think anybody really has their life figured out, because we're all struggling every day and we see different things every day. So our paths are all different. So, well,
you're on the right track, but I want to talk about your senior year, which is, incredible in many ways, tragic in many ways, but I also look at it now as, wow, the hopefulness that you must have as you kind of look forward into your next chapter in college. But last year at this time, June 2024, this community experienced a flood unlike any other. I guess just share a little bit on, June 22nd, 2024, what happened?
So basically, the flood happened, I believe, June 21 is when everything, like the night before everything started happening. The next day, I think we woke up on my grandma's apartment. We were basically, like, my aunt lives with my grandma still, so we were all there. And it's a 2-bedroom apartment, right? But the kitchen and the living room are really small, but you couldn't really complain because the whole house was gone at this point, so we weren't going anywhere. So we took the walk from there, I believe, from there to the Peaks Ranch. Probably like a mile.
Let me take one step back. Okay, so it starts raining, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, this town has no idea what's coming. Projections are at a certain level. The town is still preparing, but has never seen a flood the way it hit. But I guess from your perspective, what was that initial the day before, and then the first night?
I wasn't getting it. So basically, what had happened is, I was at the store with my dad, and there were people filling up sandbags, but these sandbags were probably a little smaller than little 5-pound sandbags, because we thought it's gonna flood, but not a lot. So we'll just make these little ones, and it'll keep out the little bit of water that's coming. And it was raining all day, and you would hear different things from people coming in. Some people would say that, oh, a big flood is coming. Other people would come in and say, oh, it's just gonna be a rainy night, but it won't be nothing bad. So I didn't really think nothing of it, because usually when you hear a lot of people talking about it, it could be fake news. So I kind of brushed it away and kept going with my
Especially
work.
With weather, right? Like, you hear, oh, there's a bad snowstorm coming, and then it's not that bad.
I was thinking, like, when the weatherman says, oh, it's gonna be a sunny day, and then you get ready for the lake, and you wake up and it's all rainy outside. So I was like, I wasn't 100% confident in what people were saying. So. But my dad had sent my little brother to go fill up some sandbags, but he's kind of shy, so he didn't want to go on his own. So my dad ended up clocking out early, and he asked me if I could stay at the store, and I said, of course. And he went over with my brother and my mom to go fill up sandbags, and they didn't grab any for our store or our house, because we're kind of a little bit away from the river. We didn't really think nothing of it, but we're like, well, we have to help because it's our community. And I clocked out. I closed the door, and it's raining real hard behind me, right? But I didn't think much of it. I drove home barely being able to see, and got inside. They asked if I made it home safely, because you could barely see while you're driving. And we basically spent the night just looking outside, looking at the street was a little bit filled up, but it wasn't nothing unusual, because usually the sides of the road fills up just a little bit. You have a little bit of stream going down the road, and we didn't think nothing of it. Basically, the whole town didn't think nothing of it, because we all went to sleep and got woken up around 2 a.m., 3 a.m., I think. There was sirens going off, but we didn't really hear anything except for my dad. So my dad woke up my mother, and she went to go wake us up. And she told us that we have to leave quickly because the house was starting to flood. And you kind of really don't know what's going on because you're kind of waking up first. So I wasn't thinking much of it. And I put my shoes on, and my dad asked me if I could go outside to check if we could at least escape in our truck, because we had a truck. So I was actually the first one to get into the water. And when I had to act brave because my family needed me in the moment, but I was scared because the water was all murky. It was getting high. By the time I stepped in, it was up to like a little bit underneath my waist. And I went into the water to check if we could take out the truck, but we couldn't because the exhaust pipes were covered up. So once I came back inside, I had told them that we couldn't take it because it wouldn't be safe for us to drive it away with it. So my dad told us to all go change, and then we were going to go walk in the water. And at first I was like, well, it's the only way out. We can't really stay sitting ducks there. So we walked out through the back of our porch, and we headed out through the back street. But we slowly realized that we couldn't go out through that way because it's kind of, you can't really see, but it's a little uneven where it goes a little bit more down than what the front of the house. And we started realizing as it kept going higher and higher than our waist, we're like, I don't think we can take this route. And we all had our phones in a Ziploc bag just so we can keep the flash and they wouldn't get damaged.
Because it's dark.
Yeah, because it's real dark outside. And, well, there's water all around us and pieces of wood coming out from everywhere. You see nails, everything.
How high is the water?
At this point, by the time we came back, it was up to our waist. So it was bad, but obviously it's harder to move in water that way. So we were kind of all just grabbing onto each other. And my brother led, and then I led, and then my dad was behind my mother. And we realized that it was too deep on the other end, so we came up to the front. And when we were coming up to the front, it wasn't as bad, but we knew we had to go a little bit faster, but with caution, because the stream was getting pretty strong and getting up higher. And by the time we got to the front of our house, where I had passed around 5 minutes ago, there was a whole porch in front of where I had just passed. A full-size porch, which was really weird because obviously it's like something that you're so used to seeing. Oh, my neighbor's porch is right in front of in his house, right? And it's now just right in front of our house. It was kind of
washed away.
So we had so much fear in us that it built up even more, seeing that the vehicles were moving a little bit while we were walking down the street. And we tried to stay as much as we could on the sidewalk because obviously there's like a little, I guess you could say like a divot that goes down into the road.
A curve.
Yeah, a little curve, right? And so like there would be times where we accidentally forgot that there was a curve that went down and we'd go a little bit down and it'd be a little frightening, but we kept on moving and we were holding on to each other. And at this point, by the time that we were almost to safety, the water was getting up to our chests. So we were all pretty nervous because at the same time we had basement windows that were barely breaking and all the current was running down into the basement. So there was at a point where we had to hold on to a stop sign so it didn't drag us down with it. It was a pretty scary moment. And honestly, I didn't think looking back at that time, I didn't know I would be that brave to even get in the water just because of how dirty it was and all the cars and everything floating around. We could hear people screaming and we didn't know what to think at the time. And it was pretty heartbreaking just because there was times where we walked by and there was a time where we walked by an older couple who lived down the road in a corner, and there was nothing I could do about it because if I opened the door, I'd put them in more trouble and the water would all sink in.
I mean, you get to safety after going through all of that, but then the reality sets in, like our house
is gone. Our business is gone. We kind of messed up because I still had the cameras on from the store because it hadn't hit the Wi-Fi router yet. And I was showing my dad that the water was slowly going in, and I didn't think of it as much, but I knew it really hurt him just because he told me to turn it off at the time. So it was something else. It was a different type of feeling, obviously, because the things that are material items that you can always get back, right? But when you put so much work into it to have it, it kind of sucks even more.
Yeah, and I suppose at that point, the store almost takes a back seat. I mean, it's your livelihood and all of that, but your house, you're displaced. Like you have no place to go. So you're staying with what, family and.
Yeah. So my cousin actually she was living with us in the house that got flooded, and she decided that she wanted to live on her own and got herself a little apartment by where my grandma actually lives. So we ended up staying with her, me and my brother and my mother and my 2 other little brothers and my dad stayed in a little shed. It was converted into a little apartment, right? But it was like a shed, and we kind of lived separately, which was pretty weird because it was a different responsibility that I had to have. Obviously, having my brother and having to be the parent at the same time, where he's like, oh, our parents aren't around, and I'd be like, no, but you can't still do that. And like still maintaining being, I guess you could say, a teenager, but also with the responsibility of knowing that my parents they trusted me in taking care of it. So it was something else.
So how long before you got a new house? I mean, this was like 3-4 months, right?
Yeah, it was quite a while till we got a new house. And I believe it was only 2 houses that were up for sale at the time too. So we kind of they obviously put it up for auction because they knew lots of people wanted to get it. So it was kind of nerve-wracking because my parents, at that point, we've always rented wherever we lived. So my dad was scared to make the jump because even when we did have a business, we were fine renting. And now it's like, oh, we don't have nothing, but we're going to buy a house. Yeah. And it was all those little things that I saw because they didn't talk to us about it, but you can obviously see it.
Yeah. And you have the store.
Yeah, and the store, yep.
And the store, I know your mom had mentioned that she wasn't sure if you're going to reopen again. And if it was her, she thought maybe not, but your dad was really instrumental.
My mom was kind of on the edge. She didn't want to open again, but my dad knew he couldn't go back to having a normal life and working for someone else. And knowing that, me and my brother knew no matter what he wanted to do, we'd be by his side, and he wanted to open up the store again, and that's what we did. We went full throttle in there. Initially, we thought we were gonna live back at where the house got flooded, so we would work there. We'd wake up really early and work there, and then end off the afternoon at the store. I don't know how we had the energy to do it, but it was early mornings and late nights. I remember in the mornings I'd go to sleep. But in the mornings, I'd feel like my dad's presence in the living room, like him thinking over what we're going to do. And he was about to wake me up. And I'm like, another day of doing this. It seemed like it was just repetition of the same thing all over.
I'm sure that summer before your senior year, 2024, had to be mentally and physically exhausting. And also just the uncertainty of it all had to weigh on everybody. But yet, you guys kept going.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
and this community kept going, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And you got through it, and school opened.
Yep.
And so you got to go to school, right? Your senior year.
Yeah, I did get to go to school my senior year.
Yep. And then you got your house in October-ish, and the store opened back up again, in October, right?
It's really exciting.
Have you thought about and I think as you get older too, I mean, you're only 18. When you get older, you'll probably look back and like, wait, we did all of that?
Yeah, no, I'm surprised sometimes. I lay down in my bed and it's been about, I think, a month and a half that I've had my bed now, because when we initially bought our house, the house that we bought, the previous owner wasn't the best either, but we didn't have another option. So even if it was outdated inside or wasn't taken care of, the basement wasn't finished, or like our rooms. So we'd all sleep upstairs with my little brother who did have his room. So it'd be my brother Don, Lucas, Caesar, and me on a small room. And now that I look back at it, sometimes I lay down in my bed and I'm like, oh, like I have a bed. Like it sounds weird, right, to say, right? But I'm like, I have a bed. Like I lay down on the carpet and I'm like, this is a life right here. For others, it's like, it might seem like, oh, like they might think, okay, that's kind of weird. Why are you saying that? But it's a different feeling that you get.
You've had an added perspective.
Yeah, different perspective.
What's important in life, I suppose. Yeah. So I guess when you look back at this past year and you look at where you're at today, and you're at the store working and you're getting ready for college, and you've graduated high school, just as you look back, what do you think about that experience that you've been through? And how it's prepared you for the future, but then also this community and how it's also rebounded as well.
Sometimes I don't know how it happened, but I'm just thankful. I'm thankful that we got through it all together, and I'm thankful that we had such a great community that was there for each other. And no matter what happened, we just kept striving. I know that it was obviously not what we wanted. It's a setback, right? But I feel like in the long run, it made us stronger, and it made us become more grateful for the things that we have around us, because we didn't realize, but everything we had, we took it all for granted. We just thought it was just another couch, just another bed, just another room. But we know now that it's like something that we should be grateful for every day, even if it's the little things in life, like how I said my bed, the carpet in my room.
Yeah. But you know what's interesting is there's a lot of people that could be in your shoes, angry, and rightfully so, right? They would have all of these feelings of anger and why did this happen? And I don't know, did you go through those feelings too?
I've been kind of positive about it the whole time. I was kind of nervous at the same time, but I've always had a strong faith, and I've known that at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. So during the whole time, I try to keep a positive attitude, just because I know I have younger siblings that look up to me. So every time something bad would happen, I'd try to flip it around, even if it sounded dumb to them. But they saw me as someone who's like, wow, he doesn't bother him, right? Even if deep inside at night it really hurt, thinking about everything that happened, I couldn't be weak at the time. So
we need more people like you, Angel. Let me just ask you one more. Is you're going off to college, you're going to go get an education, and you're going to get a degree in business, and you're going to go do all these amazing things. Do you want to move back to Rock Valley one day?
Of course I want to move back to Rock Valley. At school, everybody always talks about, since they're little, where they're going to move or anything. And I'm the odd guy who says, I'll be okay if I live in Rock Valley, have a nice house and a nice family. And maybe, if I'm lucky enough, I have like a lake house somewhere in Yankton or Okoboji. And that'll be my dream in life. That'll be something else. Yeah. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Well, I'm thankful for our conversation. Thank you for sharing.
No, thank you for having me.
Just an unbelievable story, and we're really excited for you, Angel.
Oh, thank you.